Maybe again when we get going here. Okay, let's start by trying to get a sense of what our cards are. Let's look at rares, mythics, and uncommons for strength here, ideally. What do we get? This is not very good. Well, maybe it's a good view. So we have a pacify effect. Oh, but it's not. They can still attack. It's not that exciting. Pegasus Courser. So this is a 2/2 that grows every time you surveil, and when it gets to a 5/5, it can attack as though it didn't have defender. It's nice. Card's cool.
A resplendent offering.
Dear God.
I'm
Haitlin!
an empathic dude. I shudder with horror at your hardware's demise. Maybe with this you can at least get drunk once on me.
Thank you, Haitlin, for the $50 donation. That's really generous of you. And yes, everyone who knows what I'm talking about when I tell them the effects of this has basically had that same effect, the shudder, and like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's like, you know, like you're a guy and you see another guy in person get like kicked in the nuts, and you just do that empathic, like, ooh. You know, even if you're like laughing at it, or you still have that moment where you're like, oh, that's how it feels to have your hard drives die on you. So, yeah, I appreciate the support and the sympathy, because it definitely feels like that. All right, a 4/1 flyer comes back for 5 is pretty expensive, but could be annoying. 2 mana red damage is good. Cyclops is a little bit weird. Circuitous Route. Okay, it's a ramping effect. Gary Raiders. So it's like that that one he was playing on me last time. Crackling Drake in here again. Razit as a Planeswalker. Swamp Zero and Menace for 2. Yeah, that dude's fine too. 4/4 Trampler. Oh, this gun's cool if you can keep feeding it. Runs out of control. What does Molder Hulk do? This card has no synergy with other undergrowth effects, right? Since it just wrecks your graveyard. Dude, why is he wearing his pimp bone ring? Anyways, sure. It's pretty useless. Huh. Okay. Did we get any gates at all? Guess we're gonna find out. We did. We got 3 blue reds, 2 white reds, 1 black green. So red is a fairly splashable color for us. Let's go look at just raw cards now for each color. White raw cards look very weak. Just 1 Courser and some quite bad creatures. As a whole, 1 Righteous Blow. Fresh Face Recruit is okay, but he can be cast with red. Deafening Clarion is quite good, but I could, again, splash the white portion of it if I'm playing red. Sky Knight Legionnaire seems fine. 2/2 Flying Haste seems pretty nasty. Hammer Dropper was weaker than I expected, mostly because it's hard to get him to attack through without some sure strikes. That guy seems pretty solid. So potentially we could splash white at the moment. Do we have other white duels? Probably not. Let's take a look at blue. Combat Trick's nice. With Surveil 2 in it. That seems playable. Card seems not amazing, but okay. Phantasm was whatever. 1 Capture Sphere is reasonable. It's a very expensive counterspell. Watcher, Whisper Agent, 3/2 Flash, Surveil is decent. We got 3 of them as blue-black. It can be played as blue or black. That doesn't mean we're forced into black. Connive. Huh. Okay. Invert. We might play Sonic Assault. 2 damage to that. Tap target creature, deal 2 damage to his face. That's for rushing, building up graveyard synergies. Crackling Drake, and Raw. We'd really like to play Raw. So I'm looking at the moment, possibly blue, red, splash, white. Let's take a look at what our black cards are. One damage to an opponent, they discard a card and put the top card of their library into their graveyard. It's a lot of things, but it's not very exciting. That's decent, the lizard, but not great. Destroy target creature. Black looks pretty weak as well. Maybe Crawl Swarm as a splash, but it looks pretty weak. So our white cards look pretty weak, our black cards look pretty weak. What about our red cards? Lava Coil is good, Crater Maker is good, Magical Rage is playable, Legion Warboss is good, the Bodyguard looks good, Erratic Cyclops is definitely playable. I think this card, I want to play with this card more because it seems kind of bad to me, but people have been telling me I misread it, or not misread it, but evaluated it, so that could be fun. Haste Mentor for Barging Sergeant. So our red cards are pretty high quality compared to the rest of our colors so far. And our blue cards were okay. Let's take a look at our green cards. That's fixing. Two packs favor. Our green is like all fixing with like shitty creatures. But green black. Huh. So some of our green is okay. This dude's whatever. We saw him do pretty good versus us. It's an annoying card. So there's an argument for green black with all of our duels. All of our double colored stuff. And we already kind of wanted to splash white, right? 2 Vigilance is very not exciting. Card is very solid. Expensive, but it's really good for generating bodies in a limited format. Huh. So let's just start now by power, I guess. Let's look at the red stuff that I would like to play. We're like 2/3 of a deck already off just red. Don't mind that card. Try to make this card useful. Search your library and insert card, source your card, reveal it, put the card in your hand, and shuffle your library for 6. It's super expensive. Switch the power and toughness of up to 2 creatures. Seems really bad, but maybe not. We've got a Planeswalker in this color. But it's still a Planeswalker. So are we splashing blue? Playing blue. What blue cards do we have that we'd like? I don't mind a combat trick. This is a Befuddle that doesn't draw me a card but surveils 2. It only costs 1 mana. It's not terrible. Card was alright. We have a lot of surveil, which we probably don't. Probably don't have enough to play that when I look at this. So maybe our blue wasn't good enough to play after all. It's pretty weak creatures so far there. Black was real bad if I remember correctly. We had 1 removal and that was it. So maybe we are not playing blue, not playing white, not playing black. So is it green with a... It's green, red, splashing blue? Splashing blue, white? I mean, there's a lot of fixing in green. We picked up Urban Utopia, picked up Circuitous Route, and is there another one? No, not really. And we wanted black-green, right, for the splash. Swarm Guildmage is good as a black-green. Charnel Troll seems like it's playable. With the locket, we have 2 of the lockets. Gorgon seems decent. The Lurchers were okay. They have anti-synergy with the card we already have in there. Undercity Uprising seems optimistic, and Mulder Hulk was quite bad. So then, what are we actually playing this for? Jesus, what were our multicolors again? The wood shapers are our best multicolors, probably, besides the red ones. That card's terrible. I don't think we have enough blue to play it again. Only blue cards I care about are these two. I can definitely splash blue for that. Red was the color we were 100% sure about. And then the rest of it got very tricky to make. Is the Gorgon white-red? Is that what I just saw? So we can support blue-red very easily with the guild gates. Especially if we're only running 2. So what was this then? I think the Sergeant is totally decent. So what do I care about these? The Hammer Dropper's kind of whatever. We played with him last time. I guess Mentoring has some great effect with the 0/8 that can attack. We got Mentoring on the War Boss. War Boss is a nice little token generator who generates a 2/2 token on every attack, but potentially dies. It would be nice to have some combat tricks to protect him. Crater Maker's good. Fresh Fate Recruit is good. Good with Mentoring too. Lava Coil is a good little removal. Maniacal Rage seems like it has good synergy with Mentoring creatures. Deafening Clarion seems really good, either for racing or for just a board clear. 2/2 Flying Haste seems like a totally reasonable creature that we'd like to play. So our multicolor white creatures are pretty damn good. More Mentor effects there. Hammer Dropper maybe not amazing, but probably playable as a 4-drop for us. So what? Let's say we play some weak white creatures too, like a Skyland Scout, Righteous Blow. Can't Block isn't even a terrible effect if we're trying to go aggro. It seems kind of weak to me, but maybe. What does the guard do? Our creature gets +0/+1. Not excited about that, but it's playable. Blade Instructor, playable. The 4-drop, quasi-playable. Rock Charger's very good. That's a Pegasus Courser. Maybe we're just going to play Boros every game? I mean, that was my prediction going into this, that Boros every game was going to be what I wanted to play. So we're missing any sort of direct removal at the moment, besides Lava Coil. Maybe removing a blocker is good enough. Had multiple demotions. There wasn't enough black to splash for pure removal. Green looked okay. I wouldn't mind running Pax Favor, for example. Protects our Goblin nicely. I just wish I had some Sure Strikes. Yeah, this is the new deck mode. Yep, this is sealed. Instants or sorceries, what a joke. I don't have any instants or sorcerers in this deck. Is it even worth splashing the Planeswalker? I mean, that's removal. So I don't mind splashing blue for that removal. Where are my artifacts? Isn't that what this thing is? Artifact? I thought I had a pretty cool artifact that, like... that one. I have 5 gates that I'm probably playing. Seems like that would be strong. Could try to put in more lockets for, like, this one is a white source. It's not terrible. If I don't actually run green, we could still live with this. Could even play that. It's playable, potentially. What's the second effect of that? +2/+2 on a white effect. It's not very exciting. This is just a black card, black or green, which we're not playing. Charnel Control seems like it would be decent if it gets going. But it has no synergy with anything else that uses Undergrowth. It just removes everybody else's ability to do that. It seems relevant. I might be able to use that to win. How many instants and sorceries are we at right now? Like 2? There's 2 in there. 3, 4. It's like 4 in the whole deck. Ugh. I would love to play Crackling Drake. I just don't see it happening here. We're only splashing 1 blue anyway, so that's fine. The green cards are pretty weak, except they're mana fixing, but I don't have a lot that I'm fixing for. So I think we're running white-red again, splashing blue for some sort of removal. Is there anything in here else that I could splash for? There's a 3/5 flyer. 3/4 flyer. Doesn't seem terrible. For 2 blue. It's quite a lot of blue is all. Maximize altitude is something this deck wouldn't mind. I don't think I want to run double demotion. Okay with the scout. 10th district guard's okay. 2/2. Maniacal range is fine. Glaive is good. Rock Charger is really good. Legion Warboss. Sky Knights. Sonic Assault, maybe. Deafening Clarion. The Locket is pretty questionable. I like the Lockets as a way of drawing later, but we look like we're trying to do a base. What does this do? It's whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +X/+0, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So really, we're not playing this as a creature who does that. We're playing this solely as someone who gets mentored. The 0/8 wall for 4. We have 4 mentor effects in the deck. It's less than last time. 5 mentor effects. Not sure about that. 4 more cards out. Play the Overwatcher. What is an Overwatcher? Don't know what you're talking about and don't see it. So we're on the beatdown plan again with no draw. I don't really want to be on the beatdown plan with no draw. The beatdown plan with no draw is a pretty shit plan. But I don't see like loads of good cards. I mean, I guess, okay. I wish I could save this deck and then immediately change stuff around. Because I could see a green deck in here too. Like our best creatures are white reds. But our biggest, like, just dumb big bodies, which seem fine in this format, are green-black. Yeah, screenshot, possibly. So we have a fair number of evasive creatures here in a couple ways to make creatures evasive again. Like Demotions plus Capture Sphere plus Sonic Assault plus Maximize Altitude. This is all evasive to just get in and do damage. Creature is not evasive. Creature count right now, 15. It's expensive is the only downside, but if we can give that a flight or a menace or something like that, it's very powerful. So maximize altitude, Sonic Assault, Capture Sphere, Watcher in the Mist. It's evasive, but it's a 5-drop with double blue. I think that's coming out. One more needs to be out. I'm actually not... I also kind of wonder about a second demotion here. Actually, you know who doesn't seem that strong in this deck? Planeswalker lets me draw cards. I mean, maybe. It's mana sink. Alright, so what would not be that exciting? Righteous Blow as removal was very cost efficient. These are 2-drops. We have 3 2-drops. It seems good. Can't even want another 2-drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-drops. Seems good as well. This card was fairly weak last time. It does have Mentor. We don't have anything. We have no way to buff this guy. This is a 2/3 flying vigilant creature for 4. It's quite expensive. It is evasive. That's my game plan. Evasive our way to victory with no fucking combat tricks. Seems very unexciting to me, this dude. I guess he's a blocker. Mentoring a double strike creature seems very strong. We do have 5 gates, so the glaze is not even bad. Probably on average +1 or +2 even. Probably not +2 on even. Average probably +1. Maybe good enough to play. Do we have any other gates that I would care about playing? No. This creature seems worse than most of my other white-green creatures. Or rather, most of my other creatures. So I'm just still wondering about that green splash. This card is pretty weak. It does let me attack where I couldn't otherwise. It moves a blocker. So the other ones I'm considering removing are Demotion, Glaive, I just really like the idea of repeatedly removing their ability to block. Pretty light on 4 drops too. It's tough to remove that. Fuck. Okay. What about the green-white 2-drop that can be cast with green mana only? You mean the Vigilant dude? What's he better than? Like the 2/1 sometimes gaining flying is better than a 2/2 Vigilant. The 2/2 who gets +0/+1 so I can attack seems slightly better than that. The Goblin's definitely better than that. And the 2/1 First Striker is better than the 2/2 Vigilant creature. So I have a very hard time caring about this Shieldmate. What I am looking at is my lack of ramping creatures. So like my opponent plays a 3/3 or a 4/4, I'm in a lot of trouble to attacking him unless I can get evasive enough to do that. And I don't have a million ways to do that, although I have a few ways to do that. So the other thing I'm looking at is like some sort of like green, black, white creature deck where I can run the Pax Favor as a combat trick. I do have 2 of those. I have the black creatures that come in for both like the little flashy dude, the couple black-green dudes that are pretty big bodies. All those are fairly good quality creatures, not Molder Hulk, the other ones. Got a locket for that. Got a green-white locket. So these have become draw, which is the nice part about them. They're a little bit expensive to do that, but they're okay. The white-green generator seems good. So I guess I do want to print screen these. I think my wife has somewhere she's got paint on her deck, or paint.net somewhere, I believe. Let's find out if I can find it. So let's finish the deck itself. Need like 1 more card out. 2 more cards out, and I want to drop 4 drops, so it's probably shitty 3s. What is my shittiest 3? That Mentor is pretty shitty. The 3/1 Mentor. And that 2/2 is a little bit pathetic too. So if we did something like that, just that Mentor does synergize with 3 mentoring power. Synergizes a little bit better than some of these other ones. Brings us down to 13 creatures too. It's a little rough. This is 2 to play and 3 to equip. The Vigilant Menace is particularly nice on flyers. It's funny, I keep looking back and forth and I keep seeing this Planeswalker as the weakest card. It's just drawing in a deck like this seems really solid. Maybe it's Demotion. Alright. So something like that, perhaps. That's evasion twice. It's not a combat trick, but it is just get damage in. Alright, so let's print screen this one. So this is what we're looking at. Let's fix the mana base, I suppose. How many islands do we need? I think 3 guild gates is plenty of islands. Maybe 1 island on top of that. That's 4 sources of blue then. 7 sources of white. It's probably good enough. We would like white fairly regularly. 8 sources of red, huh? No, it's way too many sources of red. What am I talking about? Alright, let's get in some white sources. So what is this? This is 2, 5 red sources, 8 red sources, 4 blue sources, and 9 planes. It's 8 red, 9 planes where I want to be. This is either. Probably is, actually. It's probably about this then. So this is Boros with blue. And that would be print screen this way. Deck building experience is terrible. It's a little painful. I wonder if this is playable or not. Even if it gets +1, +0, +2, +0, I mean, it's a little bit expensive to move around, but Menace is a pretty powerful effect, and Vigilance isn't bad either. So that would be this way. What would be the other deck? So if we did the other deck now, the green, white, black deck. Black was terrible, right? Maybe terrible is too strong. We got 4 3-drops or 4 drops over there that are okay. This card's playable. Deadly Visit is quite good. Whisper Agent's playable. The Guild Mage was definitely playable. What about the Eternal Troll for 3-drop was very playable. Locket's playable. And I have 2 Whisper Agents. It's interesting. I have 3 Whisper Agents. Those are very playable. That's quite good for blue-black. Another Golgari Locket. 3 for a Death Toucher is fine. This 4-drop looks good. Uprising maybe. Guy's playable. What's the third color we are considering adding to that? White, right? Oh, green, green, blue, black. And no white. I'd like to play this card. Green, blue, black seems much stronger. Does it? Card's okay too. So all the creatures require we have a shit ton of stuff in graveyards. So how are we getting a shit ton of stuff in graveyards? We need like 3s and 4s in graveyards, like count-wise. We do have a little bit of 2s. Black had no 2s for us, right? Right. playable. It's actually good. Utopia is fine for fixing. I want the pack favors in there. I guess I can flood it with these fucking Vernandi shield mates. They're pretty unpleasant to draw later. So we have some pretty weak 2s, some fairly mediocre 3s, some of which have a bunch of surveil effects. But the problem with surveil for putting creatures in your graveyard is that, yeah, if you're putting lands in your graveyard, it makes total sense. But if you're putting creatures in your graveyard, that's drawable spells that you're putting in your graveyard to trigger other things. This guy looks pretty good, but he has anti-synergy with everything else that cares about graveyard usage. This girl seems okay. Raiders are basically these guys again, or these guys again, right? Worse, though. So this is like a smaller Rhizome Lurcher. Concoct seems interesting. At 5, though, it isn't cheap. We'd have the 2 removal pieces. We'd have the Capture Sphere and the Deadly Visit, and that's it. So our three, like if they ever play a creature with 4 toughness, like our board just stalls. We have no air game to kill them. The only thing I'm excited about in this deck that I don't have in the other deck is I'm excited about the Lockets for draw. I've got Rawl for draw in the other one. I don't think so. Oops, didn't mean to remove planes there. It's not that I'm against trying the Undergrowth effect, it's just that it feels weaker to me than my other options available. Were those agents double of a color? Were they double blue? Yeah. It is tough to get a good look at your deck like this. And I still want to mess around with the mentoring. We've got all day to play this. Black didn't look okay to me. Black looked pretty weak. Oh, let's try this. Wait, it requires 40 cards. We have 39. What did we remove? $984 seems fine. What did I remove? Chat. Don't remember removing a card. Did I take a land accidentally? This is 5, 8, 9, 16. I did. It might be a 16 land deck, honestly. But what land was it? So this is 9 sources of white, 8 sources of blue, red. I guess I could get one more mountain in there. 4 islands, 4 blue sources. So our blue sources, we'd like them to be fairly consistent. 16 with 5 gates seems fine. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we can get away with 16. I see. Be nice to get these out while we have evasive options. Have a lot of 2 and 3 drops. There's a chance that I don't care so much about hitting 4 reliably. I care about hitting 3 reliably. Don't care so much about hitting 4 reliably. We'd have to mentor the shit out of this stuff. I mean, think something like Demotion is like the difference between we can attack or not. Let's try it. Let's try Boros with blue. You guys let me know if this game, if the overlay is working or not.